Greetings everyone, it's me, Lori Ann Spagna, here with you today to discuss some new topic areas related to living in the fifth dimensional reality and beyond. Today I'd like to chat with you about your DNA once again, and this is one of my favorite topic areas because of course in the third dimensional paradigm we know we really for the most part only have two strands of DNA that is operating, and as we awaken and up level beyond 3D, part of our role, part of a requirement for us really to up level is to begin to actively activate our dormant DNA. And that dormant DNA is all of the strands beyond the first two. And we know physically and scientifically there are at least 10 more strands, at least. And so today I want to talk about a little bit more about what's in that DNA. And I want to first just reiterate that in order to get beyond the first two strands, and by the way, those first two strands of DNA are mostly corrupted. They're mostly corrupted. That's why there's death, disease, and all kinds of like health issues, emotional challenges, relationship challenges, financial challenges, money challenges. That stuff is corrupted DNA that's playing out in our reality, whatever life experience that we're having. It's typically like programs running in the DNA. So whether it's relationship, whether it's health related, whether it's monetary related, whether it's family related, which is another form of relationship, even especially like if it's sexual misery programs is a kind of programs that could be running in those first two strands. All kinds of corrupted DNA that is from lifetimes of generations upon generations of people living out of alignment with their highest and best, like most benevolent, healthy, loving, happy, fulfilled lives where they're aligned with their joy, their divinity, their divine source self. Lifetimes of living that way have corrupted the first two strands, and in a way this sort of so-called block or link between the first two strands and the next 10 strands that we know are dormant in the physical. That link that opens, that gives us access to our other 10 strands of dormant DNA, it opens as we start to identify this stuff and begin to clear it up, as we begin to clean it up, and as we begin to really drop more into our heart center and expand our own heart. That's when we have access to these other 10 strands. So okay, I can go on about this for a long time, but if you want more information, head over to lorispagna.com and you can get a free class on activating your DNA, why it's important, how to do it, how it's done, why we do it, plus a free activation for you for the beginning of opening it and accessing it. But today, the juice of today, the meat and potatoes, or whatever you say about that, is to address some of the templates and operating systems in the dormant DNA that are what we access after we start accessing that dormant DNA and activating it. So this is mostly not that available to a ton of people. It's more as we start to really get into the DNA and start activating and awakening this dormant DNA. Plus, we of course have to clear out all that corrupted DNA in the first two strands that's just linked to our ancestors and our life experiences that really generally haven't been working that well for us. So these templates and operating systems that are in the DNA, in the dormant DNA, they're lying dormant. They are new ways of operating, new ways of being, new ways of living, new ways of experiencing life, new ways of expressing ourselves, new ways of expanding our consciousness. These are dormant templates and dormant operating systems. Dormant in the first, well, at least in the next 10 strands of dormant DNA waiting to be activated. So what are these templates and operating systems? They're like 5D operating systems, 5D templates. So for example, in the old 3D paradigm, one of the ways we walk around life in 3D is, someone asks you how you're doing, and you're like, yeah, I'm okay, yeah, okay, ho-hum. That's one way of operating. That's a way of operating. Well, yeah, life sucks and then you die. That's a very 3D way of operating, for example. Whereas a new operating system in 3D, in 5D and beyond might be something more lines like, I'm so excited about life. I'm so looking forward. I can't wait for the next project. Oh my God, I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited about that. Life is so good. So many opportunities are waking up for me. Oh my God, so many great things are happening to me and for me. I'm so excited. We start to live our life from a place of enthusiastic excitement. So enthusiastic excitement is actually an operating system lying dormant in the DNA. That might seem so simple, but it's a new way we begin operating. It's a new way of how we behave in all areas of our lives. Another great example is in 3D, we tend to look at life and we say things like, oh, I'll wait and see. I'll just wait and see. Let me just see. I don't know how it's going to work out. I hope it's going to work out. Maybe it's going to work out. I'm not sure it's going to work out. We start getting entangled in that kind of thinking, in that way of operating, that way of behaving. And it's called the wait and see program. Wait and see. The whole idea that maybe 5D is going to bring about some major cataclysm, that's a wait and see program. Or that somehow there's going to be a landing, ET landing somewhere in the future and the star ET beings are going to rescue us. That's a wait and see program. Another wait and see program example would be like, okay, when I get XYZ, then I'll be happy. Or when this happens, then I'll take my vacation. Or when this, then that, I'll wait. It's a wait and see program. In 5D, a new operating system that replaces the old wait and see program. A new operating system is, this feels exciting, this feels uplifting. If the universe opens up everything for me and it's all green lights, I'm going. It's a new way of operating. It's a new operating system. It's the way my team has defined it. It's like a green lights operating system. You just know when there's green lights, you go. You just intuitively start to know. Green lights, yes. Red lights, no. Gonna stop. Yellow lights, let me just pause, take some time. It's a new operating system and it's in our DNA. It just starts running just like these old programs are being cleared out of our first two strands and replaced with these new operating systems that are lying dormant, waiting for us to awaken them. Another great example of an operating system is that in the old way, for example, in the 3D operating system, we might have had something called, for example, sexual misery programs. Sexual misery programs include things like being uncomfortable with our body, not knowing how to feel safe or comfortable in sexual, sensual ways, not being able to enjoy in a healthy way our physical interactions or our physical bodies, however they may express. They may include some form of pornography addiction or sexual addiction. It may even be entangled with some form of shame about our sexuality or confusion. Gender identity confusion might be part of that. It doesn't mean it's just all this lack of clarity, uncertainty around it. Maybe we're discomfort with our own bodies. Maybe for some people that might show up as putting on a lot of physical body weight. It could be linked into that potentially. Everyone's unique and different, but those are corrupted programs, right? The 5D operating system would be all about awakening that sacred sensuality within us, being comfortable in our bodies, being so comfortable to express, feeling good and right about our bodies, our movement, our gender, our sexuality, our sensuality, our divine sensual nature in a healthy way for ourselves and for one another, honoring our own bodies and our beings, honoring the bodies and beings of others in ways that are healthy for all concerned and with harm to none. Those are new operating systems. So I also want to talk about templates, but I'll do that in a separate video. So you can look for the templates as well, but this is more about operating systems. Another operating system in 5D that has to be activated is the operating system of glad expectation. So in 3D, we have an operating system of like doom and gloom, like, oh my God, life's going to hell in a handbasket. What's happening to Earth? And we know when that operating system's operating because you start looking at the world as like, wow, this sucks. You know, they're doing this terrible thing. They're doing that terrible thing. Like all these terrible things happening on Earth. Oh, this is so devastating. Oh, this is so bad. This is so wrong. And, you know, just look at anything in the old 3D paradigm and you can see it. I mean, you can see the corruption, the greed, this, you know, you can see like how people are developers disrespecting the earth, just building buildings for the sake of building buildings, how sometimes greed has taken over, how it's about, you know, we know the old paradigm is about service to self over service to others, service to self over the greater good of all. You know, it's like the few benefit at the expense of many. That's old operating systems in the third dimensional paradigm. It's in the DNA. It's corrupted, right? So now, when we clean that up and we activate a new template, we start having a template of glad expectation. We don't look at doom and gloom anymore. We suddenly realize, oh my God, there's so much to expect wonderful. I'm expecting wonderful. And we're just living that way. I'm expecting joyful. I'm expecting excitement. Not attached. I'm not attached to it. That's how life is. Like life is going to be presenting wonderful and exciting things to me. The universe is going to be showing me that all my expectations of joy and excitement and wonderful things and new opportunities is the new norm. So that's a new operating system. Now I can go on and on and on. There's a lot about this on the YouTube channel. So you can definitely take a look at the other YouTubes, especially around the DNA, and look for the next one that I'll do just momentarily about instead of just operating systems, I'll focus more on templates, which is a similar concept, but slightly different. And we want to activate those too. So take a look for that video as well on the templates in the DNA. And in the meantime, please share your comments, like the channel and subscribe to the channel and share the video. I love, love, love to expand consciousness on planet Earth through these videos. So when you share, other people get to benefit as well. And of course, as always, head over to LoriSpagna.com where you'll get lots of DNA information and activations, and you can definitely join us for the activations and so much more for you and for your animals too. And until then and next time, I want to say thank you for listening, for participating, and for sharing and liking and subscribing. And thank you. I will see you next time. Okay, on my love. Bye-bye.